Шановні колеги, ну, прохання трошечки зачекати, оскільки йде процес доєднання і чекаємо на нашого першого доповідача з Азербайджану, тож прохання трошечки почекати. Так, шановні колеги, я бачу, що є всі наші доповідачі. Dear colleagues, I see that our presenters are here. It's very nice. And now we will start our seminar. Hello, Elvin. Are you okay?
Hello, everyone. Yes, I am okay. Thank you.
Great, great. And hello, Vladimir. You are ready as well?
Yep, I am ready.
Super. Hence, we can start our seminar. It's my pleasure to invite all our participants to seminar Critical Computer Technology and Systems. Today we will start our 174th meeting. It is ninth meeting in this year and eighth meeting in condition of the war. Today we have very interesting topics for discussion. Topic of our seminar is methods and technologies of wireless network vulnerabilities analysis and application of programming language and codes diversity. As usually, I sense beginning of our seminar, our ХАІ team, our Ukrainian Scientific and Educational IT Society, our Center on Industry 4.0 and partners projects, Horizon 2020 ECHO and Cyber Edu project. We will talk about this project today. It's my pleasure to invite all our colleagues from different regions of Ukraine and different countries. It's very important for Ukrainian participants. Our special thanks our colleagues from Greece, Professor Nikos Bardis, from Bulgaria, Dr. Zlatogor Minchev, from Azerbaijan, Elvis Abbaszadeh. Maybe I did not call from other country. I think our community is very wide and very very strong. Hence, let's talk about our today reports. Please, next slide. Today we will talk about different sides of security, safety, beginning of network cybersecurity, and safety and security which can be assured using special technology of programming. First, our guest today is Elvin Abbaszadeh. He is network security engineer, lecturer of Department of Processing Automation Engineering, Baku High Oil School, and the PhD students of Azerbaijan Technical University. Topic of his presentation is wireless signal intrusion. Thank you very much, Elvin, for your participation in our seminars, our seminar, and hope for continuing of our cooperation. And the next our presenter, Kajaev Vladimir Viktorovich. He is a programmist, business analytic, activist of Gildi IT specialist. Now he is PhD student of Department of Software, Automotive System, Lutsk National Technical University. Vladimir has prepared very interesting talk about visual programming language and automatic code generation, especially direction of diversity for safety and security assurance. I ask our presenters how many time you needed for your presentation. I suggest, as we preliminarily discussed, 20-25 minutes for your reports, and after that 10-15 minutes as usually for discussion. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
In case somebody would like something to ask, he can do it after meeting, as I have email and so on.
Okay, of course. And Elvin, is okay for you 20-25 minutes for main part of presentation and discussion
Yes.
after that?
Yes, sure. It's okay for me.
Thank you. And we need 10 minutes for information about main events during the last 2 months. I think it was very interesting information for you about the CERN conference, about our activities related to different international projects, and our next activities. Hence, one more thank you very much all our participants. We understand how it's important and how it's difficult to participate in this seminar in Ukraine, but we go ahead and we go together to our victory, and this seminar is inputted. It's this victory. Hence, it's my pleasure to invite for first report Elvin Abbaszadeh. Elvin, please share your screen.
Just a moment.
1 minute. Elvin, please.
Yes, just a moment.
Uh-huh.
Can you see my screen?
Yes. Thank you. Hence, welcome, Elvin. It's my pleasure to say that we met 1 week ago in Stockholm, and thank you once more for your for your participation in our seminar. Welcome to КриКТехС. Please.
Thank you again for your invitation. I really appreciate to participate in this meeting. It's very pleasure and nice to join this kind of meetings. First of all, I briefly give information about our university. This is a campus of our university, Baku High School University, and we have the courses like computer engineering, information security, and on information security field, I am holding the lectures like vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, ethical hacking and defense, attacking techniques and tools, and else. So first of all, I will start to discuss preliminary actions about wireless technologies. Some of the topics are known from this connection of using wireless networks, but I will show small laboratory that I have discovered in my apartment, testing my wireless networks. How can it be de-authenticated? So I will describe wireless technology, describes the process of authentication, Wi-Fi cracking, VPA and VPA2, four-way handshake, and actual attack steps that I tried at home with my Wi-Fi network. So here, as we know, we have common wireless technologies nowadays. It's a part of our life that we use wireless technology like the keyless, cell phones, GPS, remote controls, garage door openers, two-way radios, Bluetooth, and there are a lot of things now ongoing with IoT, Internet of Things, related to wireless communication. First of all, for wireless network connections, we have the components which I will describe each of them separately, like access point, wireless network interface card, and internet cable. And I will touch each of them where they are vulnerable from attack side. So the access point where we have the transceiver that information and wireless communication and spreads the signal around the network coverage area. Some of the components which does not have, let's say, the cables, they are using this kind of access points to share the signals around the coverage area. Access points are actually has specific, let's say, you can see here an example. This is I just took from the internet. This has the MAC addresses and service set identifier, which identifies each device with MAC addresses and the speed and the channel. So service set identifier is used mainly for wireless local area networks. It's unique characters where we have from 1 to 32 characters. But also we have, let's say, when we talk about wireless communication, we have a list of service set identifier. Some of them comes as a default, and this is vulnerable because they can steal information because we have to change them every time. I gave some vendors example here. As soon as we see some of the access point without knowing what is behind that network and we try to connect them, so we have to test, we have to do some tests in order to be verified if it's legal to use them. For example, as I mentioned, many vendors has come with default, and they are not for us capable to use because they are have to be modified to be authenticated by legal users. Here I will give the example before starting my lab part. I will show how we configure the access points. Depends on the web browser and depends on which IP address if you use local providers. Then wireless network interface cards, technology for each node and each computer to connect. Converting, this is used mainly for converting radio waves to the digital signature to spread around. Wireless network interface cards, depending on the vendor, how you plan it, where you use. For example, when we talk about the web, wired equivalent privacy, there are some problem, because when we send information, when we send data, we use web, but there is some weaknesses on wired equivalent privacy, because we have CRC32, which stands for verifies the packet integrity. And in that case, let's say if we capture at least 2 packets and compile them to check integrity, if we see that encrypted packet has modified or had unauthorized access to those packets, that can affect our integrity of data. Let's have another slide about authentication. It's general, as known by everyone. If you are a legitimate user, you are getting access. If you otherwise, you not get able to access. About wired equivalent privacy, as I mentioned, for example, if we are using stream ciphers are based on RSV4 encryption method by web, a key should be the value of initialization vector has to be used. But in some cases, we have, when we talk about integrity, the keys are reused for different messages. The same key are used. In that case, a web has vulnerabilities, because if we decrypt one of the key, then from there we can redrive what other messages are used. This is one of the vulnerable part of the web. And now I will skip to VPA, which is wireless, where we have VPA and VPA2 connection. This is specified on 802.11 standard. They are used the TKP, which is temporal key integrity protocol, for enhance the encryption in this technology, but in this protocol. But there are still some problems, and then they deploy the new one, which is VPA2. Also, this one has, let's say, some vulnerable information that we can capture. Now I will go a little bit deep on how I did my laboratory part, hacking with VPA. So VPA attacks were developed in the attacks with injection and with spoofing or changing the signal direction, like using jammers. For example, if you spread around the highest signal, and then you can capture client signal from, or you can stay in a middle, man in the middle, and you can capture signal and try to show yourself as an ethical way. But this allows the attacker to steal data in the middle, or showing them as a right user. This is attacking several steps on VPS, testing VPS. This is from internet, but now I will show, first of all, we do as a port scanning when we do wireless hacking, and then we do enumeration of this stuff. I use some tools. I will just give their name, like Aircrack and Kali Linux, and of course Wireshark, to analyze which data I have captured when I was trying to get the deauthentication process of four-way handshake. Countermeasures of wireless attacks, uses of authentication protocol. If you use web, use 404-bit encryption rather than 4-bit encryption, because as soon as you have the length of higher, and then you are more protected. Then assigning the static IP address to wireless client instead of using, because if we give our network based on DHCP network, that can be vulnerable, because someone can steal our network and try to use for own purposes. Don't broadcast the service set identifier, which is if you broadcast out of your coverage or network area, that can be captured by an attacker and trying to use as his own purposes. Then here I will describe Wi-Fi password cracking, how it happens. This is where we have wireless eavesdropper, where you can stay and try to capture the data from the wireless access point. We have the service and we have the internet. This is our wireless home network. I try to draw it. And then here I will just give the, as I explained before, there are difference between VPA, PSK mode. This is protocol uses single fast phrases for authentication to the network, shared among all devices and access point. PSK between 8 and 63 characteristics. From PSK, each device are stored pair-based master key until PSK or SSDI change. Here, the main, I will, before starting the lab, I will show you how we start four-way handshake. Then the authenticator starts to send the first message as announced, and then deriving this part, the client will try to authenticate himself as a right user, and the data from that, which is we have the keys that are derived from the user, we will add the NIC, which we have together with nouns, sent to the authenticator part, and the authenticator will generate his message and send to the client side, and client side will check it if it comes from authenticator side, if it's used the same key that should be on agreed on before they starting the communication, and then they will start to exchange the encrypted data. Here, first of all, I try to capture some information with, as you see with ifconfig command, we have the internet loopback and some interfaces. And then with Airmon, I capture the physical addresses, then which protocols are here, you can see. And then I see here, you can see the frequency and standard and the power, which is 20 GB. And then there are a list of information. But now I will switch here what kind of information I have got during this scan. I have one is the MAC addresses, which is my own phone MAC addresses. The other one I captured from the modem where we have TP-Link we are using actually. So based on this, I try to de-authenticate a four-way handshake, and then after the authenticating for handshake, you can see also here the handshake as with MAC addresses for the protocol for the handshake process. And then I took this data and put it in Wireshark in order to analyze how the four-way handshake is captured. And then finally, I have here took the capture part because it's easy with using with the ROQ.txt in order to find the key. So as you see here, the hello is identified from the captured part. This is one of the devices that always we are using in the laboratory, which is called jammers. In general, what are the jammers, let's say, and how they are working? They are some cases, it depends who are using those. For example, single caller blocking might be blocking some buildings, the calls that going outside or incoming calls, or blocking some coverage internet area, preventing incoming calls. Cell phone jammers eliminate the annoyance. Also, it can sound difficult. This method is actually quite easy. Signal that has the same frequency as a signal from the cell phone. People use jammers for a number of reasons: to avoid office distractions, disruptions. During meetings, business owners may want to limit their employees' phone signals. And jammers also stop cell phones from sending data outward. A jammer might be used to prevent release of confidential information. It has been a helpful technique for signal blockage or to stop terrorist strikes. Also, jammers are popular since they are display out of service messages. How does jammers work? Let's look at this one. Without first cell phone signal, it may be challenging to follow these procedures. Signals are sent from cell phone to cell towers to make them functional. But let's say when you send a signal, then can be something in the middle or making them much power in order to destroy the signals that coming from the client side. The location of the cell phone determines which cell tower gets a signal, but cell towers divide their operations by focusing on particular regions, so it does not go out of coverage area. As a result, your cell phone sends signals to many towers in order to capture the best signals while you are moving around. By transmitting radio frequencies to the same tower, the jamming device operates. By imitating your cell phone, it will drown out the cell phone signal. It essentially emits the signal at the same frequency as your phone. So most of the time, it should generate much signal than your phone in order to destroy it. So this signal is strong enough to overpower the signal from your phone. So that's what I wanted to describe about the jammers. In general, in this lab, I have used some, as I mentioned, aircrack, map, Wireshark, the tools that we use on daily our lab. In conclusion, I would say that in general, wireless signal hijacking is cracking or any kind of intrusion should be done under supervision and must done only by government purposes, because I did it only for my internal home network. And any kind of otherwise action considered violation of laws and can result unwanted consequences. Also, it must be taken into consideration that TV broadcasting, let's say, it's also the part of jamming. It's not used widely in today's technology, because if you look at the history, there are a lot of action with jamming in order to destroy the signals. And Wi-Fi crackers require huge amount of GPU power to crack the passwords. These matters are not as easy it was before, so there are still malicious people. They are using it for their own purposes. I hope you have enjoyed my fast presentation. I tried to be as soon as fast, demonstrating the lab very short. Thank you. If you have questions, please ask me.
Thank you very much, Elvin, for your presentation. We have really enjoyed. And now time for questions and answer and discussion. Dear colleagues, you can ask question via chat and by voice. Okay, first question, Vladimir Kajaev. Welcome, Vladimir. Your question?
Yes, thank you for the presentation. And my question is, what exactly you are doing in this big area? Because as I understand, you are working in it, isn't it?
What do you mean working on? I am a lecturer and
Well,
I am...
it's just election. I see. Thank you very much.
Yes. Not something that's bigger, out of lecture.
Okay, other questions? Professor Nikos Bardis from Athens. Welcome, Nikos.
Thank you, Elvin, for your lecture. It's very nice, and for that seminar also. Is the method that you're using, as I hear, is with Kali Linux operation systems?
Yes.
And yes. Also, is that method you're using, how you tried to do the new protocol WPA3 instead of 2 and 1, of course, is less secure. Yes, in this kind of new protocol, it is working as well as that you make your lab.
WPA3, I still didn't test it, but in the future, I have some plans on it.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
you. More questions? My questions about countermeasures. Elvin, you demonstrated slide with countermeasures which can be applied to minimize the risk of successful attacks.
Yes.
What about possible extending of this set of countermeasures? Do you know anything about application of AI to assure more successful and more strong protection of Wi-Fi networks?
You mean out of VPA2?
Yes. Yes, any countermeasures. You demonstrated, as I remember, one slide on countermeasures for Wi-Fi networks.
Yes, I have also mentioned about whenever we say about wireless communication, what we have also web weaknesses, which is integrity of the packet when we send them. So there are can be reuse the same key. One of this one, or if they are collision, that the same message has gotten same encryption. That is one of the key, but we have to implement it using the larger keys. So in order to have longest encryption.
Mm-hmm.
For example, there are some tools that I use, the net sampler, Kismatter, that for example, in order to making where they are tampering of their messages, or they are vulnerable web protocol, or VPA2 crack vulnerability to cut out these issues, like also in man-middle attacks issues, like I mentioned in the countermeasures.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And one more question. What is your opinion? Is the task of choice of optimal set of countermeasures? I mean, any application of any countermeasures should be assessed in point of view protection value, in point of view cost value, and in point of view usability value. What about choice of countermeasures?
Around, you mean applications?
Yes.
Because there are some applications that are open source that we are using in order to defend our networks, but they are some of the applications which are the costly, as you mentioned. So it depends where we are using, and in my case, some of them I use as an open source, which are the free, but for the laboratory, for the specific cases, I will try to go, for example, there are Wi-Fi code, which is Wi-Fi Pineapple. For testing your networks, I would go to, even it's costly, I would go to use it, because that can give me more advanced enhancement of the security.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and my last question, have you any experience with application of UAV as transmitter of Wi-Fi?
UAV we still didn't touch. What we have on my PhD topic, we are willing to, next year we are willing to go some researches on UAV wireless communication. Can you hear me? I lost call.
I suppose Vyacheslav Harchenko is not hearing you, but you are online.
Also can hear very well. I think that Professor Harchenko is not online.
Yes.
Elvin, so can I forward the question on that from Professor Kachikov. Your research that you make also, I say here in your PhD for UAVs is also they use protocols as WPA 2 or 3 or 1, or is another kind of protocols they use, more secure or authentication, high level between the access point and the drones?
On the kind UAV, we are still not started with UAV. We are planning to start it next year. My PhD topic is not related to a UAV. It's mostly related to wireless security communication with mobile and with mostly on satellite networks.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Elvin, maybe you can say a couple of words about your PhD research. I suppose it's quite different from your today's report, but maybe you can share some information.
Okay, dear colleagues, sorry for some technical problem with my home internet. Let's thank Elvin for his interesting presentation, and let's wish him success in his education, in his research and development activities. Thank you, Elvin, for your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, let's go ahead. And it's my pleasure to invite second lecturer of our seminar, Vladimir Viktorovich Kozaev. Vladimir a lot of time worked in Institute of Cybernetics in Kiev, and he is a famous specialist in IT, and now he started PhD dissertation research related to application special technologies of programming for development of multiverse software for safe and secure system. Vladimir, welcome for your presentation. Share your screen, and you have time for your report. Thank you.
Hi all, and thank you to listen me. Do you see my screen, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, we're listening. Yes.
And my presentation name is No Code Platform for the Diverse Programming with Air Technology. Well, who I am? I am PhD student of Skills National Technical University. I was studied in Glushkov Polytechnical Institute, Glushkov Institute of Cybernetics, but unfortunately my science teacher have died, so now I am in Lutsk. I am freelancer working in, yes, maybe one of the freelancer, one of the several freelancers in the world who work with languages, and I'm sorry, and I will share. Give me a second. I'm sorry. I will just to make my internet faster, and I'm working as language development, working with parser, compilers, tools, translators from one language to another, and so on. This is my email. If somebody interested to speak with me, you are welcome. So, what is no code? This is our program constructors. No else that constructors like maybe Lego or something else, like everything of us play in childhood. It may be Soviet Union constructors or something else, not no matter. Details are typical part of the programs, like database interfaces, maps, I mean Google Maps or something else, games, actors, and so on. Number of examples of non-code platform, a lot. So it's impossible to show it all. And the problem is in the logical connection, how to connect one part of the program with another without a code, without a coding, like typing, like without a knowledge of any programming language, is to type it. It's draw some connection like block schema. Block schema are realized in many of case tools, but these case tools are mostly developed in UML-like style and has a lot of disadvantages. Well, probably everything know what is case tools. Has a lot of problems, but what is the problems? We in UML like activity diagrams, people have not any of mandatory structure. For example, you see letters, and these letters is correct in the point of structure of the program. It's correct UML, and there are two letters, X and Y, and people who know Russian probably understand what I'm about, because we can add anything, some other letter. And another problem, a lot of empty space. You see, program, like for example, loop in C++, are even little than UML picture. So what is the reason to use UML in this case? And UML is very over complex. We have a lot of pictures, we have a lot of diagrams, we have a lot of icons, and even when you study all of it, you will not able to implement any program. You need study some programming language, and you need to understand connection between UML and programming languages. And so what is how to avoid this situation? It's R charts. It was developed in 1975 in the Institute of Kubernetes by Professor Igor Vilbitsky. Unfortunately, he have died already. There are only 3 elements: dots and lines, and you can write something under and over line. I will show it later. That's all. So it's very easy to study it. For example, a minimal example. Sorry. What I will do if I want to eat. For example, if I have a lot of money, I will go to the restaurant. If I have something money, I will cook at home. If I have no money, I have nothing to eat during some time until I will have it. It's very simple example, but show the power of the language. We have if else, or maybe case structure in programming language. In main, it's enough to implement of the difficult program. For example, another example, jump. For example, I want to buy a bread. What I will do? I will go to the store, to the market, and see, does they have a bread? If yes, I will buy it. If no, I just go to the previous step. Okay? And the same with the loop. You see, I have loop icon. If no bread in the market, I go to the next. If no bread in the market, I go to the next until I will have a bread. And that's all. You see, that's all. This we have all elements. This so simple language is enough for very, very complicated problems. And what is advantages? It's very simple. And it's contained on a horizontal and vertical charts, not like in the UML. When, give me a second. Oh, I'm sorry. I will get back. I'm sorry. And not like in UML when we have a lot of pictures and we don't understand what is it, and it's can break our mind and so on. And what advantages for robots programming? I mean, robots, it can be anything what we need. It can be, for example, robot for home. It can be VAR robot, for example, flies and maybe tanks without people. It can be anything like it. It can be robots in chemistry. It can be robot in nuclear power station. But what is advantages of these languages? For example, no long studied it. No, because if some engineer working in nuclear energetic, he probably don't know programming languages. It can be it can be showing on the tablet, because you see it's very very little programs. We can create and show little program on the small screen. It's understandable for people who don't know programming, who are not engineers, because for example, you have seen my pictures, you have seen my my air programs, and it's probably very understandable for people who don't know any programming languages, and it's security friendly. Why? And now we go to the security problem, as our seminar is related to security. You know that bugs is another part of programming development. If you have problem, we have a bugs. But for example, on the VAR, when we have a fly who goes from one line to another line, we can't allow these bugs, because okay, what will be is our tank will shoot for our soldiers. It will probably will be bad. The same in the chemistry. The same is in nuclear energetic. So we can avoid these bugs. And how we can avoid it? One way is diverse programming. We will have, in this case, several of the different programs. For example, for the same, with probably different languages. And these different languages will tell our robots, will tell our staff what to do. And after that, we will have an arbitrage. For example, if 10 programs say, oh, we need to go left, and one program say, oh, we need to go right, probably go right is wrong. And in this way, we can to avoid bugs, and program will be more secure. But what is the binding between diversity and air programming? What is the binding? Well, when you seen of my give me a second, when you will see of my examples, you see there are not any of the languages. There are nothing about Java, about C++, about anything else. So we can easily translate these schemas to the different programming languages. And can, for example, draw program by finger, then press button, and will generate different programming languages. And in this way, we will have a high-level scenario for the diverse programming. And what next? For example, for soldiers, it will be good because on the war we can sit and program. We can do it with finger. And it's what I will do during my PhD. Now I'm working on this scheme. It will be editor, and next it will be some generation of the program on the different languages and arbitrage system. It's in main. What languages? Of course, I can't say though. Good question is what language we need to select. But for now, problem is the distance between languages. It's maybe not related to my presentation, but in main, the distance between languages. For example, we don't know for now what is it, how to calculate. So another my goal is to check with a number of scenario what language will lack and on what conditions, and in this way to calculate, to give some assumption about language diversity, how one language is diverse from another. So I'm finished. Please ask your questions.
Thank you, Vladimir, for your presentation. And now we have time for questions. I see the first question was Zlatogor, please, your question. I can read your question.
I see the first question. Gentlemen, does somebody hear me? Please type it.
Yes.
Because I'm not hear you.
Yes, we hear you.
Vladimir, please, Vladimir.
Oh, do you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we hear you. Do you hear me?
Yes, I am hear you. Thank you. It's probably
Yes, please, Vladimir, please read question of Zlatogor.
I see it for now. Thank you.
And answer, please.
Hello. Just curious about
well,
the future of artificial intelligence and code generation, especially in robotics. Thank you.
Well, I have some article about it. May I send you my article?
It will be great. Thank you very much.
Give me a second.
Vladimir, please, short comments. In any case, short comments concerning question.
But in main, well,
please.
On the far future, I don't know what will be in the far future, but maybe during next several years, or maybe several, I don't know, maybe until 15, 20 years, we will be what we have now. Something easy programming, like for example sites and maybe some mobile application and maybe something like it will move on the no-code platforms. But something difficult, like for example artificial intelligence, or maybe something what we have not algorithm, where we need to think about the algorithm, will be just programming, because you see, actually people think that program writes for the computers. No, programs write for the people, and main problem is to understand what we need to exactly. And visual languages and code is a good way to understand themselves. But unfortunately, we have not developed it enough. We have not enough these no-code platforms. That's why next what will be? It will be probably development of it. And give me a second, I will send you an article. Unfortunately, it's in Russian, but
Yeah, no problem. Russian is readable. In any case, your understanding is that in the near future, still it will be limited artificial intelligence implementation in code preparation, if I understand you well.
well, code preparation will be, but problem is that is good question. What is a good area to create a no code? Let me send you email, and if you're interested, we can discuss it later. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we have the next question, Lev Shumara. Lev,
Yes,
будь
thank
ласка.
you for
Welcome.
the opportunity to ask a question. I have a following question. I suppose you know about Scratch, which kids in the school are taught to program some moves by using a digital cat. Do you think that it's a good idea to teach school children to programming using the visual programming languages, like that stuff?
Well, it depends. You see, it depends what is the age of these children. Because if you have maybe 5 until 10 years, programming languages like Java, like C++, will be maybe too difficult. But if you have, for example, 11 or more, of course, teaching of the programming languages is a good idea. But you see, in my point of view, no code and no code platforms can be studied in parallel. Can I send you a name of the another no code platform? It's another notation. It's Dragon.
Dragon?
And yes, like Dragon, but
I see.
not via C, but K. It's let me say it in Russian. Русский аналитический язык, который обеспечивает наглядность. I'm sorry for Russian, but it's Russian developed. You can read about it a lot on the internet, and it's not about it's not about programming, but it's about way of thinking, you see. And after that, if you have structurized in mind, it will be more easy to study it. And maybe no code platform is good to study algorithms. One of my friends create a set of lections for studied algorithms with Dragon. And it's very, very good because children understand it. It's more powerful, more easy than read programming coding. So, as a resume, in my point of view, for children, Scratch it's very good, but for little children, in the school or in the university, we probably need to use it in parallel, and probably not Scratch, but something more relative to a real job.
I read your opinion that it is about right way of thinking. That's very interesting. Thank you.
You are welcome to email me, and I will answer of any of your question. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Some next questions.
I have question if
Thank you. And next question is Andrei Volkovой.
I don't know more about zero coding. Of course, I heard
Andrei,
something. What? Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I'm hear you.
Yes,
So,
please your question.
Question about zero coding and diversity, of course. I think, maybe I'm wrong, that zero coding is limited for some specific tasks. I don't know what R code or how it's called is used. In my understanding now, zero coding is not universal language like C++, for example. Yeah, it's like first part of question. Can you reply for that?
Yes, in zero coding, of course. Well, you see, universal language. What is universal language? Maybe we can speak about Turing full languages. If we are speaking about Turing full, so we can implement no coding like Turing full languages.
Oh, for
But
example,
universal.
C++,
What is universal? You see, it's philosophical.
Maybe it's not good word. Okay, universal. In my okay, let's imagine C++. We have many compilers that can make code working on many different platforms, and for many different applications. You can compile for microcontroller and it will work without operation system. You can make some driver with C++ also for different operation system. You can make user application with C++ also. Is zero coding have such ability and such areas of application? I think no. But maybe
fast answer, yes, it has.
Yeah, how it works? Maybe I don't understand.
You have a program. Let me give you some introduction. First, textual notation, or sorry, it's my cat. So, or visual notation is just a notation. Probably you understand it.
Yeah.
And we can compile anything from textual notation as well as from the visual notation.
To which is it intermediate something between visual notation and binary code? Is it maybe C++ inside? How it works?
Well, we can generate C++, or we can generate some code, or even some binary code will be generated. It's question of how we'll do it. On Russia, we have some software for it, and it's work on the fly and rockets industry. And yes, we can create a program right on the with this visual tool. It's with Dragon, and we developer not thinking what is the background of it. Like when you when you create Java program, you don't think that probably Java are writing on C++ or even on C, something like it. But we can also generate any code with Dragon or with R and with any other visual tools. So it's a question of approaches, what we will do, you see?
Okay, so please correct me if I'm wrong. Now I understand that there are some like primitives from which programmer on zero code can build some application. Yeah, each primitive can be inside implemented in some other programming languages. Maybe it's C++, or Java, or something else. Yeah.
Yes. No
And
matter.
then from such like primitives, we can build more complex structures, then connect them, add something else, and so on. And also we are able to create new primitives, yeah, with also usage of
In main, yes.
Okay.
But there are a lot of ifs. If you're interested in it, you are welcome.
No.
Again,
I just want to continue. It was sorry. It was like first part, and now I want to talk about diversity. So if your language has blocks like primitives and implementation is always the same, you can build alternative version. Okay, let's imagine first version in diverse system, yeah, written on Java, for example. You can build a second version with zero code that inside has C++. But this C++ will always use the same blocks with the same internal implementation in C++, yeah? And if there are errors inside...
no.
No, of course, you can vary internal implementation, but in such case, you lose everything that zero code can promote, like pros of this language. You can use fast system to build something, but if you try to change internal implementation each time, it will be not zero code. It will be coding with some envelopment, and it will take more time. It's not interesting. Yeah, I think about possible issue if such blocks that using zero code has error inside, and you use it in diverse system. This error will always like duplicated. Each time when you use this block with error, this error will be copied from one part of program to another part of program. Yeah.
Yes, I completely understand.
It's also risk
of course, it's a risk. But you see, let me describe. Okay. For example, well, when we have a high level scenario, go left, stay several minutes, and go right. It probably the same in the several languages, no diversity, because go left, stop, and go right. It's probably it's probably easy to understand.
Let's imagine something more complex. Yeah.
Yes, but they will are in details. We have C++ and we have Java. And we have a different libraries for C++ and for Java. I'm sorry. for example, for artificial intelligence. And and of course, it's understandable that it can be different speed of working, and of course, it can be problems inside C++ implementation, in Java, in Python, anything. So our goal is not to compare simple program with high level of scenario, something simple, but create some high level scenario and compare implementation of the libraries, of the approaches. For example, if we have something in C++, we have memory leaks. So we have not this memory leaks in Java. And that's why Java can get right scenario and C++ can fail or something like it. So we compare the same scenario with the same, maybe like, I don't know, maybe high level, but different implementation. But for what will be if we have a program, a different programs who understand algorithm in quite different way. It's very easy if we are speaking about difficult application. So my goal is to create something high level, and compare details like libraries, memory leaks, and so on.
Okay.
Do you see?
Okay. Yeah. In general, I understand. Okay. So no more questions. Thanks.
Thank you. And next question, Alexander Igorevich.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. And my question is, can we use this technology for big and hard programs? Because even programming language become unreadable in a big project. And what about this technology? What about this zero coding?
Well, again, question is how you will use it, because in what way? If we are speaking about, for example, building static call graph diagram, do you know what is static call graph?
No.
Okay, it's just what part of the program we have, and which part of the program are called from the other which part. Of course, we can create a diagram with this notation for understanding of our calls. And maybe if we are speaking about coding, well, it's again, it's a question of who and how it will use. For example, I am working with visual things on something difficult. For some easy, it's much faster to type it than to draw. You see, but for some difficult, or maybe for something what I need to understand, I am use visual programming, because again, visual programming, it's a good way to understand what we are doing. You see.
Okay, but you say that nuclear plant or missiles project, I think it's a very big project, and the more better way it's use like common programming language like Java, C++, and something else. And in case when we want to use your technology for this, for example, nuclear plant, I think it's not good way for resolve problems. What do you think?
Well, we have two parts: common, big program, and scenario. For example, we have a reactor and we have a command for the reactor. And commands for the reactor, do this, after this, do this, probably it's not very big. But we extremely need good understanding of what we are doing. So we can create a scenario for reactor, and other part will be, of course, on the textual languages. And in this way, it will work.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? My question, very short. I understand, Vladimir, that your research in area and version projects just in the beginning of way. But how do you think which kind of specific metrics we could apply to assess diversity in the level of automatic generation of code? Because if you talk, for example, about different platforms or different development team, we understand which metrics can be applied. What about metrics for assessment of diversity for diverse codes?
Well, we are talking about it yesterday, but okay. First part is the group of the syntax. For example, we can put, for example, Java, C#, C++ on the one group. Another group, it will be probably PHP or any scripting language like Perl, PHP, and so on. Another group will be like Prolog or maybe Lisp. So about first about group of the syntax.
Okay,
Second,
thank you. Okay, sorry. Hence, in this case, we can use fuzzy or soft metrics to compare.
exactly,
Yes, more,
exactly.
strongly more, and so on. Okay. Please continue.
Yes, and next part, it will be, is it interpreter or compiler? Sorry, my English is not my native. So a compiled language or maybe virtual machine or maybe interpreter languages, you see. And next will be probably platform, because platform is extremely important. If we are talking about cell phones, it's not the same if we are talking about mainframes. So on what platform we will use it. And of course, it's only quality metric. It's but if you would like to calculate it, we probably need to make some weight for each of the metrics. And in my point of view, these weights will be different, depends on what tasks we are using. Because if we are talking about, for example, home programming for home, like for smart house, it's not the same if you are talking about programming on the repair station. So, in my point of view, we are only on the beginning of it. If I'm even not sure that we have enough mathematics for it, mathematical formulas, you know, mathematical apparat. I'm sure that we have it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, dear colleagues? I don't see and I don't hear. Thank you very much, Vladimir, for your presentation, and we will wish you success in your research and application of future results. Thank you. Okay, let's go to the final part of our seminar. It's my pleasure to inform you about last events during November and December. First of all, I would like to inform about our 12th IEEE conference on dependable system services and technologies, the third conference. It was our meeting in mixed mode in Athens, Greece, and online mode. Please, next slide. It's short information about long history. Our conference beginning 2006, Poltava, Kropivnitsky, Sevastopol, Kiev, Ukraine, and Leeds, United Kingdom, and Greece in this year. Next, please. Statistic of this conference: more than 200 others participated in this conference as authors, as keynote speakers. We had very interesting papers and presentation from 17 countries, and special thanks all our participants and participants of topical session and 2 special sessions. First time in the CERT we organized 2 special session on aerospace, radio electronics and computer system, services and technologies. Professor Semyon Zhila from Ukraine and Robert Pichotsky from University of Bristol, United Kingdom, organizes this special session. And second one session was related to big geo spatial data and security issues for Ukraine and European country, which was organized by Professor Andriy Shelestov from National Technical University of Ukraine, Kiev Polytechnical Institute, and Professor Sergei Skakun from University of Maryland, United States. We have a very strong team of our keynote speakers. Next, please. From Professor Tanya Zebi from Vienna Technical University, Professor Xiadong Liu from Edinburgh University, United Kingdom, Professor Natalia Kusul from National Technical University, Sikorsky KPI Institute, and Dr. Peter Popov from City University of London. Next, please. And Dr. Ted Paul Kachansky and Professor Andrzej Rusiński from New Hampshire University, United States, and our colleagues from Crete University, Greece, Professor Peter Stavroulakis and Professor Sokratis Katsikas from Norwegian University of Science and Technology. Next, please. We had a few industrial speakers. First one was Tal Katran, accelerator guru from Israel, and Dr. Mario Fusani from Institute System Information Technology, Italy, and 2 our colleagues from company Infineon Technologies, Ukrainian division of this company is located in Lviv, Dr. Alexander Karpin and Orest Akimishin. Next, please. Eight the best papers were presented for awards of this conference, and you can see a list of these papers, and 2 of them were papers from Ukrainian, and it's my pleasure to congratulate one more our colleagues from our university, Artem Perepelitsyn, Alexander Vdovichenko, Vyacheslav Duzhy, and Alexander Zheltukhin for the presentation of paper on technology of embedded system prototyping based in reconfigurable nodes. Next, please. We thanks all organizers of this conference, our host, first of all, Professor Nikos Bardis, who was general chair of this, co-general chair of this conference. Thank you, Nikos, one more, and thank you our colleagues from other university and institutes organizers, and special thanks IT manager of IT administrator of this conference, Artem Perepelitsyn, and our web and communication chairs and team, Artem Tetsky, our department, and Olena Shirinovich from Lutsk National Technical University. Thanks to all participants of this conference. Next slide, please. a few photos of this very beautiful time, and we had possibility to touch sea in Athens and see lemon trees in the middle of winter. It was unusual for us. Next, please. Okay, short information about our two projects. First one is the project Cyber Edu, Cyber Education. This final meeting was held last week in Stockholm. Participants of this project or this consortium are colleagues from Swedish Institute. The Swedish Institute is assured funding of this project. University of Stockholm, and our colleagues from Azerbaijan, from Georgia, from Poland, Sweden, and we represent our university at this meeting together with Evgeny Vasilievich Babeshko, and presented our suggestion on master courses cybersecurity of industrial control system. It is one of the outcomes of the project. Now this courses is developed the final part of this project, and will present it next month. In framework of this project, we analyzed issues of security, cybersecurity education, business, industry challenges and solutions in different countries. Next, please. One of the important things is Ukrainian Day, which was organized at our Swedish colleagues in framework of this meeting. And thank you very much for support of Ukraine. You see a desk where participants of cyber meeting tried to develop a special program support and helping of Ukrainian university and our National Aerospace University in particular. Now is the time of the war, but our foreign colleagues try to help us, and now time for new possibility. During this meeting, we discussed our next steps, our joint activities for new project, especially development of courses related for our students related to forensic system and technology, application equipment as a service, and so on. Next, please. Other activities during December was connected with other project which is funded by Germany government. It is a project Avio Core 4.0, and the main goal of this project is preparation and launching of Center of Excellence in area digitalization, aerospace industry, and not only. This project consists of two stages. Next one, please. First phase is development of conception and research and innovation strategy and business plan to develop a center of excellence in area digital technology such as cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, robotics, and so on. And next phase 2 and 3 will be connected with deployment and active phase of work this project. You can next one. Main our partners in framework of this project is Fraunhofer Institute, Germany, and we have joint interest according with requirements our industry in area robotics, in area application of artificial intelligence, AR, VR, and of course cybersecurity of industrial control system and critical infrastructure. Next, please. Now we invite all our colleagues, not only from University ХАІ, from other university as well, because at the second phase, a few working groups will be created to continue research in area which you can see. This research will be strongly connected with request of industry from Ukraine and from Germany. Hence, it is a good possibility to go ahead in your research and development activities. It concerns not only lecturers, it concerns our PhD students, master students as well. Next, please. And short information about fifth all Ukrainian meetings, our scientific and education IT society, which was 2 days ago. It was very extremely task to collect, to meet, to assure, according with our status, required number of participants. Thank you all participants, more than 200 from 20 regions of Ukraine participated in these meetings. You see main question of these meetings. Next, please. Geography of our society becomes more and more. Now we have more than 500 members of this society from 26 cities of Ukraine and 59 universities of Ukraine. Next, please. As president of this IT society, it's my pleasure to thank all our colleagues from different universities of Ukraine. You can see our statistics about membership from different universities of Ukraine. Next, please. And now, according after discussion on this meeting, we are developing our plan of our activities during next year. These activities, of course, will be connected with our work to help our army, to help our industry, to help our students go ahead in framework this difficult time. Next, please. Thank you very much for your attention. It's my pleasure to. Я хотів би побажати всім учасникам нашого сьогоднішнього семінару щасливого Різдва, переможного Нового року і сказати наші традиційні слова: слава ЗСУ, слава Україні. Хотів би подякувати всіх наших учасників з різних країн за підтримку впродовж цього року. Я хотів би додати, що був 2 тижні минулі у відрядженні, конференції, потім в Стокгольмі, в Варшаві. Скрізь ми відчуваємо підтримку на рівні і наших колег, і на рівні інституцій. Ну, зокрема, в Стокгольмі було обговорення в рамках Українського дня підсилення підтримки українських університетів, оскільки Швеція зараз буде головувати в Європейському Союзі, і там майже на кожному кроці говорять про те, як підтримати Україну. Я думаю, що це такий час, коли ми маємо додаткові можливості для того, щоб не тільки підтримувати в цих важких умовах наш навчальний процес і дослідження, але й зробити нові кроки. Я вже казав, зокрема, з Стокгольмським університетом плануються нові проекти з кібербезпеки, і не тільки плануються. Ми маємо зараз можливість використовувати лабораторну базу інших університетів закордонних як сервіс. Тому, будь ласка, ваші запитання, ваші пропозиції надсилайте до нас, в наше товариство, на нашу кафедру, і ми будемо допомагати в цьому. Дуже дякую всім за участь в цьому семінарі. У нас сьогодні було на піковому такому моменті нашого зібрання 112 учасників. Ми ще раз вітаємо всіх з Новим роком. Ще раз впевнені, що це має бути наш переможний рік. І it's my pleasure to thank all our foreign partners and friends who participate in this seminar, and thank you, and happy New Year, and Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. Якщо хтось має якісь запитання, обяви чи коменти, будь ласка, маємо час. Сьогодні дуже багато і студентів приймало участь в цьому засіданні. Так, дякую нашим колегам з Азербайджану за доповіді, за участь у цьому семінарі. І маємо надію, що наша кооперація продовжиться. Дякую. Тоді, шановні колеги, thank you so much, and see and hear you in New Year on the next our meetings. Thank you.